Hi everybody, it's Kylie here from Be Sunshine, Kylie and Stacy. Just coming on here to talk to you about one of our products on Teacher Pay Teacher called the Worrywarts. And this is by Pamela Duncan Edwards. As you can imagine, it's a super cute story that's a little bit about worrying. So it takes them through the journey of worrying and how they impact one another and the things that they say when they are becoming worried about something. This product has a lot of things in it. It's one of my favorites so far, I feel like. But there is pre-reading questions, during the reading questions, and after the reading questions. So these are on pages that are printable, so you can print them out and have them as you're having class discussions, which is great to just be able to easily access the questions and not have to really stop and think about them or sit down and plan the questions. They're already done for you. So that's easy. Then after you listen to the story and do all those discussion questions, there is a lesson about a big worry versus a little worry. And when our worries become too much, they can become big worries. And those big worries are things that need to be handled because they can spiral. And that's what causes a little bit of anxiety. And when we have too much anxiety, that can also become a problem. But it talks about every single one of those emotions, and that feeling worried is okay, right? We're human and we are able to feel worried. But when it becomes too much and it's impacting how we're acting or preventing us from doing something, then that's when it becomes a little bit of an issue when we need to talk to someone or we need to have strategies to help us go through those worries. Then it goes into, in the story, there's a lot of what if statements because that's what worrying is. We worry about what might happen. So what if I raise my hand and I don't get the question right? Or what if my friend's mad at me today at lunch? Or what if I don't have anybody to play with me at recess? Those are normal worries, right? When we think about them too much, they become a little bit more of a concern and they are stopping us from maybe being able to pay attention in class or being able to communicate with one another in a productive way. That's when they become a big issue. So, what if thoughts is also a lesson on here, and they get to take some of those negative what if thoughts and make them positive because there's nothing saying that a what if statement can't be positive. So we can train our brain to be worried but also be positive about it. What are some good things that might be able to happen? Or for every negative thought, what if thought, make two positive what if thoughts. So balancing out those positive versus negative what if statements. So it's nice to see them take the negative one and, okay, how could I make this positive? Or if someone came up to me and was spewing all these what if scenarios and they're very worried, how can I help them through? What are some positive things that I could say to them? Then there's a spot about being vulnerable. So it talks about what being vulnerable is and how sometimes to get through these worries, we have to communicate them in one way or another. So there's sitting with your worry. So you get to sit there and think about your worry. And then there's methods of sharing your worry. Now, sometimes worries can be very big and our what if things can be very large. And we might not want to share them with the whole entire class. But there are lots of different options on there on how you can effectively do that without names or without having that certain person share out loud. And there's also just a moment where they get to sit with it and think about it and think about how to cope with it. Because sometimes we just let it fill our brain and we don't actually do anything about it. So letting that thought come and go or providing positive thoughts about it can allow us to be more productive with our day. There's then a reflection piece on what it felt like to sit with your worry or to share your worry or to have someone respond to your worry. How does that feel for you? How does it help you? And what impact has it made for you? There's then an activity that you could do with your class daily, and it's called a daily 5 check-in. There's lots of directions on there as well. But just letting people around you know how you're feeling without going into detail allows us to be a little bit more compassionate and empathetic towards that person maybe for that day. Because maybe I come in and I've had a really rough morning or I'm really worried about something or someone in my family is sick or any sort of those worries. I might come in and say, hey, I'm at a 2. I'm at a 2 today. And that way maybe somebody might want to try and talk to me about it. Or maybe I'm just brought into conversation more that day. Okay? So something that would allow me to feel seen and allow my teacher to know, I'm not my best self right now. I'm going to get there. And maybe as the day goes on, you become a 5 because you're surrounded by great humans. But right now I'm at a 2. So I might need a little bit more today. It's really nice to see. And then those kids that are a 5 can jump in. Help those kids that might be a 2 or a 1. Might help you make your pairs for the day. Maybe you have a kid that's a 5 and a kid that's a 1. Pair them up. Let the 5 rub off on the 1, right? Allowing them to feed off of one another and build a little bit of classroom community and empathy and compassion. There's then a list of coping strategies that we can use to help us get through our worries. There's a bunch of them on there, and then it goes into the worry monster. So this is a little bit of an art project that uses one of the strategies, which is calm breathing. So to allow them to do that calm breathing, they would get a straw, some paint, some water, again, step-by-step directions on there. So don't panic. It's all on there, I promise. And they get a piece of cardstock and they get to make this worry monster through art. Give it some eyeballs and some legs and some hands and some horns or antlers or antennas, whatever they are feeling. And then they get to make a what if statement. And these are positive statements. So maybe it could be something that they're actually worried about and they make it positive. Maybe it's just a genuine positive statement that anybody can relate to. That's also a great strategy too. So multiple different ways where they can take that what if statement, but they turn out so cute. Let me pull up my example page just so I can show you how adorable these worry monsters. I wish I would have brought mine from school, my example. Like, they turn out so adorable. This one up here is supposed to represent Mike Wazowski. I think they did a great job. So cute. And then they're hung in the hallway, and all the kids that walk by, or any adult or any human that walks by, can see ways to make things positive in life in those what if statements. So stay positive and read the Worrywarts. Bye, friends. Until next time.